A lot of things to catch up on, bud. Are you ready to go?
There's so much stuff. Let's do this.
Well, we're
What
kind of in
event?
this weird spot for sports right now where we're in between seasons. I think it's actually kind of one of the worst times of the year, but a lot has happened recently. Things have happened in the past month. There's some things to look forward to. So even though we're in that dead zone, like it's not the worst thing in terms of conversations to have. So we got a big list today.
Big team building time, right? Off season for some of this stuff. Some stuff's going on. There's quite a
Yeah,
bit
we
of.
got a we got a whole bunch of different I have the list organized by different sports, and when I think of the different things that I want to talk about, like basketball is still the top of my list personally, and that's all it is right now. It's team building, who's getting traded, who's signing, where, and all that. So that's a fun part of the sports for me.
Basketball's top of the list with like a side of football. Like football's starting to creep in.
Well, dude, I mean, we'll look at the list as we go again, but football is actually third. I mean, Red Sox. There's some good Red Sox conversations to have too, and baseball conversations to have. But like football is also creeping up, and everyone knows that football is king. But when you look at the list, it's actually the third sport on the list.
Baseball. Are you watching baseball again?
Freaking love baseball.
Yeah?
Big baseball guy.
Yeah?
I mean, I know you're watching, right?
Yeah. But like I love to hear you are too. It's like I just want to be a baseball guy so much.
Yeah.
I'm ready to dive back in.
There's something about the nightly cadence of the Red Sox being on in the summertime. Even if you're not watching the game from first pitch to last pitch, just like knowing that it's on, you can just throw it on at any given time and just enjoy it. And that's kind of where I'm at right now.
When you're watching, are you watching all of it? Probably not.
Yeah.
Back in the day when I mean, when we were chasing that in the early 2000s, chasing championships, like I was watching every inning, every pitch. So I'm watching it, but it's like I would wonder sometimes what's going to put me over the top and just lock me in. And I might be getting close. I don't know.
Well, let's get back to baseball because I'm almost there. So I'll be interested to hear what would lock you in. But why don't we start with basketball?
Okay, let's
And
do this.
the way we've been doing these pods lately is just setting a timer, 3 minutes per topic, maybe a little bit less for certain topics, and then just kind of firing away, going from there. You'll hear the buzzer when it goes off, but we're gonna go 3 minutes right now. Jaylen Brown traded to the 76ers. I don't even know if 3 minutes will be enough, but what are your thoughts?
I've had some time to digest it. I think basically you had some redundancy between the play of Tatum and Brown, and then you had the financial aspect of it. I think with the upcoming sort of future extension of Brown, I just didn't see, or I think at this point, I think they just didn't see him as the guy that they wanted to have that large cap hold with. So you gained a little bit of flexibility by only a year by taking on Paul George's deal. Now you have some assets. Are you set up now to maybe make another deal? I don't think they shy away from having such a large cap hold between two guys, but I think some of the redundancy in the play between the two of them maybe forced the hand with this. I don't know. What did you think about it?
I think that upcoming extension is a big piece of things. And I think it just tells me they don't think that Jaylen Brown was the guy
Yeah.
and that he'd run his course. And maybe the way that he is, his personality, maybe that stuff rubbed people the wrong way. And maybe in 5 years from now, we'll look back and say, it was the right move. For all of the reasons we said, the financial personality, like we needed to take a step back to take a step forward. But I
Yeah.
will tell you that I freaking hate every single thing about it in this moment, just from like karma, the way
Yeah.
things are going, the rest of this offseason, which we'll get to, like it feels gross that we would trade Jaylen Brown away, a Finals MVP, someone that got us banner 18. Like it's gonna make sense at some point, but I'm still not there yet. I'm bummed about the whole thing. So, are you okay with this? Like, are you like? It sounds like you rationalized why it's okay, and I get those things. I'm just not there yet. But where are you?
Yeah, I've rationalized it. Randy, this first and second apron thing, the penalized stuff for having your cap holds in these aprons, you're going to see teams like the Celtics, like the 24 Celtics, the OKC teams now, the Warriors. I mean, they're so far into the second apron right now. It's just going to be this continuing 2 to 3 year rotation of really good teams having to dismantle them. It just sucks. This CBA just made basketball what you don't want it to be. In its short-term bursts of good teams that they have to immediately tear it down. But let me sell you on it from a basketball standpoint. What I think you didn't have with Jaylen Brown when Tatum was on the court is that, I don't know if you noticed this, but a lot of guys stood around. And Jaylen was so guilty of this. I think from that point of view, you're going to see better basketball because the guys that are actually going to take Brown's place are going to move now. They're going to screen and roll now. They're going to go after the basketball now. They're going to crash for offensive rebounds. So I think that's going to be a positive of it. But at the end of the day, and I heard the buzzer, the CP. Oh no, actually that's mine. The CBA did this to us, and this is a result of it. This shouldn't have happened. Jaylen Brown should have played his whole career with us, but he's not going to.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I couldn't agree with you more. CBA, I am interested to see if it is changed at some point in the future, but this apron stuff has impacted the way teams are built and how long they last, for the foreseeable future.
My thing will be is if they actually amend that, let's say in the next 5 years, you're going to have a situation where the Celtics would have dismantled OKC. Denver has some serious pressure to do it right now. I mean, they're so far in the apron. They just signed a guy for 2 years, $13 million, and I think it's going to cost them $23 million a year, actually, just to have that player. The Knicks are going to run into that issue. They already let go of Mitchell Robinson because they didn't want to go into the second apron. It's just, if they amend to fix this, I'll be pissed because that 24 Celtics team maybe could have stretched out until 28.
Kristaps, Drew, Al, bummer to let those guys go. It felt like they didn't live to their full potential, but that is the league the way it is now.
And this is something that I complained about with Tatum in the past, where he's like passive and deferring. The Celtics did a really good job of stacking teams. At times, maybe your alphas could afford to not be alphas. Now is a situation where Tatum clearly is the guy. The roster's set where he is clearly the guy. And maybe there's just nobody in the way now from him just ball dominating and just doing what special players do. Where they have complementary pieces with them instead of a bunch of guys that actually could be leading their teams in scoring. So it'll be interesting.
We're going past the timer, but I don't give a shit. Jason Tatum at his basketball camp this past weekend, did you hear the quote that he had?
Was that a shot at Brown?
I think it may have been. So he said, being a leader doesn't mean you know it all right? I don't know it all. I'll be the first person to say that. Being a leader is being comfortable with raising your hand. Like, I don't know. Can you explain it to me? I don't know XYZ. I want to learn. Some people have interpreted that as a shot at Brown. Even if it's not a shot at Brown, it's like just a weird thing to say because it does kind of play into that conversation. So, yeah. I don't know. Maybe shots fired.
Randy, behind the scenes, though, it's like, Brown was being pitched to Milwaukee for the Greek, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, how many times can he come back from being a trade piece or a rumored trade piece in multiple deals over the years? And maybe this just came to the end of the road for everybody, just everybody, and maybe the tipping point was Brown was the guy. And again, Tatum shows back up and all of a sudden Brown's hanging out on the wing again. Maybe he just is sick of it. But to disprove myself with that thought, he's going to be doing the same thing in Philadelphia.
Let's talk about the next thing, though. I'm going to set the time. Because I still find this to be pretty big news. Timer set for 3 minutes. LeBron James signs with the 76ers, on Friday last week, I think. And I thought that was freaking gigantic news.
Yes.
And by all accounts, he doesn't go to Philly or even consider Philly if Jaylen Brown doesn't end up over there.
Yeah.
So I think it's a big deal. 2 years, $8 million. What do you think this all means?
So I'm going to go back to the 24 Celtics. You had a handful of guys everybody on that team, Randy, did such a good job of making it work, right? How does this all work? So you have Maxey that's ball dominant. LeBron James is typically ball dominant. So you don't want to disrupt Maxey. So I think if you're the coach of that team, Maxey is clearly the alpha with the basketball. Everybody needs to know Maxey's the guy. So how does LeBron fit without having the basketball in his hands? You saw it a little bit with the Lakers, but I think you're going to have to push that a little bit more now. So does LeBron start doing off-ball things that maybe a 42, 43-year-old guy typically doesn't do? I don't know the answer to that, but I don't want to downplay LeBron because I think he's a goddamn alien. But continue. Jaylen Brown needs the basketball. Is Jaylen Brown good at standing around? The answer is no. We saw it in Boston a bunch. So then you look at Embiid. Embiid's a guy that's played 90 games the last 3 years. Okay, so is Embiid, when he's on the court, what's the progression? You know what I mean? When LBJ, Maxey, Embiid, Edgecombe, let's throw Edgecombe in there, and Brown are on the court, what is the progression? What's going to make that work? And, you know, as much basketball as I've watched and as much as I've digested stuff on court and off court, I have zero fucking clue how this is going to work. And I'm curious to know if you have any thoughts on it, because I think LeBron James is always going to be LBJ, and this is a big move for them, but how does it fit is what I'm still asking myself.
It seems like Brown could be the fourth guy
Yeah.
on the team. And we'll see how it all plays out. But there's talk like Brown's the fourth option out of that whole starting lineup. It will be interesting to see how it all works out. It's probably the most interesting thing going into the season. Like Philly's going to be what Golden State was, probably still is to some degree, where everybody's going to be up to play Philly. That's going to be the team that everyone wants to see come to town, and it's going to be a big deal everywhere they play. Can Embiid stay healthy? I don't know, dude. That's a big part of things too, because they don't have a great backup center, and that could really impact things. But it was a huge story. I kind of had it in my mind that he'd go down to Miami.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Just the whole Florida thing, kind of good bookend to his career coming back to Miami.
Yeah.
It's like Cleveland was obviously like a favorite, but I don't know. I just didn't see it. I was thinking Miami. I was surprised to see Philly. I was actually kind of hoping Golden State maybe too, but yeah, it's the way it ended up.
Dude, I had the Cavs as a better fit in my mind.
Yeah.
Cavs, Heat, as far as basketball is concerned, Cavs he fit better because he could have been ball dominant there. Because I think their star kind of works better off the basketball. Miami, just because I think they lack depth. I had actually the Warriors before them from a basketball standpoint. I would have put the Sixers fourth on that list.
Yeah, I think the Brown trade changed everything.
Yes.
So, which gets us to our next thing, which I'm going to give us 2 minutes. I was thinking one, but I'm going to go two.
Okay.
It's the Giannis trade, because that happened, it feels like 10 lifetimes ago. Tell me what you think. Like, it just seems like it happened forever ago. But
Yep.
that was the thing that was the first domino that led to where we are now. Like, I would have felt a whole hell of a lot better personally if we got Giannis and traded Jaylen to Milwaukee, and then like LeBron's not also at Philly. And like Philly's our rival, dude. Like, despite what you would think with the Knicks, but like Philly is like trading freaking Manny Ramirez to the Yankees, you know what I mean? And then an all-time great also signs with them because you traded him, and it's just like I feel
Yeah.
like we put these things in motion because we ultimately whiffed on the Giannis trade. So what are your thoughts?
A really good pickup for Miami. Miami's sort of lacking like next level talent or second and third tier talent. Replacing Tyler with Giannis, that's a plus for them. I mean, you look at the back half of the trade, I'm looking at, Vasquez Ware, some draft pick compensation. I guess whatever on all of that. They got better from a basketball standpoint. This might be horrible if he still has injury history, because you did get rid of compensation. You kind of tore down some parts just to go all in on the Greek. And what if he's injured? All of a sudden, you're just sitting in this middle of the pack to lower of the pack era. And I don't want to get misguided with my thought on this, but I was having this like little random Pat Riley thought. If it works out, Pat Riley got Shaq. Pat Riley got the Greek. Pat Riley won a championship in Miami. He did some stuff with the Knicks. He did some stuff with the Lakers. I've actually sneakily been Pat Riley's a GOAT. And this could be sort of his swan song if this works out. There's too much in the East for this to work out, but if it did, wow, holy cow. Good job, Pat Riley.
Before we move on, knowing how it all worked out, would you have rather the Celtics got Giannis and traded Jaylen to Milwaukee, or are you happy with the way it turned out?
I would have rather had the Greek, because I think from a basketball standpoint, if you're going to stack large salaries like that, at least you have offsetting play. because we didn't because we got ourselves out of the repeater by going over those aprons, we would have had that exemption to still go after Mitchell Robinson. And I think your team would have looked or fit better that way. I mean, missing on the Greek was this. It sucked. This is the default scenario.
Yeah, totally sucks. All right, last basketball thing, and we don't have to spend much time on this one, but I'm going to go 1 minute,
Yeah.
and I'm going to say, what are your thoughts on the Knicks winning the championship?
A couple of things. Cheers to everybody that's been grinding since '73. I know what it's like to grind as a Red Sox fan. Kudos to that. I mean, first of all, you got to be happy for Knicks fans. Secondly, dude, that was really good basketball. They put that together pretty perfectly, and
Awesome.
it's rare for a little guy to lead a team. And I mean, this is the perfect little guy to lead a team. I love watching Jaylen Brunson. He's one of the toughest dudes on the court. And Karl Anthony Towns, when he prances around like a little sissy with his freaking issues about everything, but I mean, he put it together. So kudos to the Knicks. What did you think?
I felt like I was in Rocky Four. Like, and I say that like I don't know if you remember Rocky Four, but like Rocky fights in Russia on Christmas Day in a very hostile environment. And by the
Yeah,
end of the fight, all the Russians are cheering for Rocky to win, right? I felt that way watching it as if I was like in the crowd in Russia cheering for the Spurs at first, but like Brunson won me over, dude. Like I by the end I was like pulling for the Knicks and
yeah,
I was happy that they won. I feel like I'm not supposed to be happy when a New York team wins something, but like I thought it was awesome, dude. Like 53 years for those fans, like you already said, led by like a true alpha in Jalen Brunson, a guy that was kind of discarded by the Mavs. Imagine if he was on the Mavs with Luca before they traded him away. Like he's a stud, man. And it was fun to see the parade in New York City and all those people celebrating. So I think that was like I would have thought the bigger win for the league would have been someone like Wemby winning a championship early in the core that they have. But I think this was like a better outcome for the league, and Wemby will be back probably next year. Where I'm not so sure about the Knicks.
so man, listen, sometimes a team just needs to get lucky where a part falls their way. Dallas not retaining Brunson was such a gain for the Knicks, and then they just backfilled it perfectly. And kudos to Brunson for taking less that allowed them to sort of build that over a couple of the last few years. I know that Dolan doesn't want to go beyond the first apron, which is the reason why they lost Mitchell, but he says he doesn't want to. But if you're the New York Knicks, you finally won, you're going to have some pressure to continue to sort of compete. So I'll be curious to see what happens to the Knicks the next couple of years. Again, here we are, CBA stuff.
Yep, yep. So all right, moving on from basketball, we are going to go 3 minutes on Red Sox.
Yeah.
And they just had their 15-game winning streak snap, but I still think they won like 17 out of 19, won the last 6 series that they've been involved in. Like, the Sox are back, dude. What a freaking turnaround.
And it's been all pitching. And pitching has driven most of this, but all of a sudden you're getting offense out of guys that maybe were struggling a decent part of the season. And that's been nice to see some of these guys start to hit. Um, what have you liked about it? Because like I could continue with a bunch of little things, but that's basically where I'm at with it. Pitching and hitting. Hitting finally showed up.
I mean, one thing that I've loved is Durbin. A guy I would shit all over that dude the first month of the season, sharing stats about how he was like probably the worst player in the American League. And to
Yeah.
see his turnaround once he switched hitting coaches has been incredible. I'm a big Sadon fan. Like, I just think he's an absolute stud and like a true leader of the team and like an all-star moving forward. So it's been nice to see his emergence. I've liked that we've done it without Crochet
Yeah.
and Roman Anthony, which at this point I don't even know what I want to happen with that dude. But like two of our biggest pieces I thought going into the season haven't even been here, and we're still doing this. It gives me hope for like what it could be when they come back, especially Crochet. I'm worried about Roman Anthony rocking the boat too much when he comes back, but like there's a lot to be looking forward to with this team the rest of the season.
What'd you think of the Chris Mead stuff?
We'll get to that next one. Well,
Okay.
yeah,
I Roman Anthony, he's an interesting one to talk about. I like that behind the scenes with everything happening positive about this. This is a negative with that kid. That's annoying the shit out of me because you watch that kid when he's healthy, you just think like the floor is Bryce Harper, right? It's too bad that he's not around. I'm excited to maybe get Crochet back in about a month, hopefully. And I hope we stay in the playoffs. And I hope we get him back. I hope he's ready. And I don't know, man. Maybe one more bat. maybe one more bat, and we've got something here. I wanted to ask you about Sedane. The kid gives me Mookie vibes. Does
Yeah.
he for you?
Yeah. I mean, he's that kind of build. And he
Yeah,
hits for freaking power, and he's like a lockdown center fielder cannon. And yeah, he's that kind of player.
he's that. Yeah, and I kind of keep wanting him to ascend Mookie style, and I know that's Mookie's a one of one, but that's in the back of my mind. Sneaky little thing here, Duran. Can we positive? We have all these positives, right? Could Duran actually bat 200? Could we get that out of
If,
him?
and we had a decent game from him the other day, but imagine if he could. Like right,
Right?
like we're doing okay despite how shitty he is. But I
Yeah.
still think that guy's the man. So I'm just hoping it comes around a little bit more for him at some point. But I like having him on the team.
So you got a bunch of sneaky stuff going on. I'm excited about this. We'll see what
If
happens
you were
next
if you
month.
were gonna get like a Red Sox jersey, this is just hypothetical. Like who would be your guy that you would get a jersey of?
Man, it's funny. I've thought about this, and it's like I think it's Sedane.
Yeah, same. I mean, that's what I would do. Like I would have said Anthony going into the season, but it would have been close with him. But I think at this point, Rafaela is the guy for me.
I mirror the same thought. Maybe Crochet, Willier, maybe. Right? You?
He's man, dude, Contreras. Like I would never get a Willier jersey or a Contreras jersey, but those
Yeah.
guys are freaking awesome too. But I feel like it's got to be Rafaela.
So a sneaky thing to all of this Red Sox talk is how good that Contreras move has been. That's been
Yeah,
huge for us.
yeah.
This kid loves Boston. He loves leading us in. I love his sass. This kid loves performing for Boston.
It must be so awesome playing for the Sox when they're good. Like I heard a Durbin interview, and we'll move on to the next thing in a second. But like he's like, no place better to play. Like when
Yeah,
the when you're in the bottom of the ninth and Chapman's in, and the energy in that place, these clutch moments must be the freaking best, biggest high ever.
it's so cool, isn't it? There's
Yeah,
nothing like a fired up Red Sox crowd.
yeah. So all right, we got one more Red Sox topic. Just
Okay.
gonna go 2 minutes on this one, and it's
Okay.
just you wake up yesterday morning and see that
Oh yeah.
the Red Sox traded Connolly early for Curtis Mead, and
Yeah.
what's your first thoughts on that?
Okay, so yeah, sorry about that. I jumped the gun on that. So it seems to be the pattern with us is that we like the talent that we could actually get at a cost control scenario, going back to Contreras. If you
Mhm.
like look at the mechanics of that, that's a couple of years at manageable money. It seems like we don't want to be on the wrong side of paying players. And this is a kid here. First of all, he's controllable. He's young. He appears to have been sort of or maybe he has figured it out and he's starting to ascend a little bit more. He fits a spot in our dude. I like everything about it, but getting rid of early was like, oh man, that sucked. We had to get rid of him.
It seems like we were positioned to get rid of him. We might regret it, but I mean we're fairly deep. Pitching's been pretty good. It sounds like we needed this guy. It sounds like Mead was having a career year, or like he was. It's all people have like described it as like selling high on
Yeah,
Curtis Mead,
yeah.
but like I think it's worth a shot, man. And it shows me that we're buyers in the trade deadline, and I'm hoping that it's just a sign of maybe another move to come leading
It,
up to that.
it's interesting too because I looked at the grades on ESPN. We got killed for this trade, and I'm like,
Still,
yeah, we did.
I
Yeah,
saw I saw it as like each team was filling a need that they had,
yeah.
So and I thought of it maybe more as a just like a good even trade, but that's interesting to hear. Screw those
Yeah.
guys. I don't know shit.
I don't know, man. A 25-year-old with 17 home runs, hitting almost 260. You could use that in the middle of your lineup, right?
I'll take that. So Sox are playing, I think, Oakland for three and then Dodgers for three. So it's a big little West Coast stretch here. I'm hoping that he plays tonight. I don't see why he wouldn't.
So Oakland's still a thing. They have a team.
Yeah, I don't think they go to Las Vegas for another year or two.
I
They're
hate the
playing like
West
a high school
Coast,
field.
dude. I hate the West Coast stuff for us. So I'm hoping this kind of continues this winning way stuff because it seems like whenever we go to the West Coast during this period of time, it's always 500 baseball for us.
Yeah, and I just hate the late starts. So that thing what I was saying about being able to just turn on the TV at any time of night and throw the Sox on, like you don't have that for this week, which kind of sucks because there's no way I'm staying up past 10:15, maybe catching the first half inning. You ready to move on?
No, You're not a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning guy anymore?
for the Sox. Nah, dude. No, I am honestly not a 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning guy for much at this point.
Dude, I remember like it would be all the time that I'd be up that late. Now I'm like 9:30, 10 o'clock, I turn into a pumpkin.
No way, dude. All right, I'm going to combine this last one into just 3 minutes.
Okay, let's
And
go.
because there's going to be plenty of football. The next pod that we probably do will be a preseason podcast for the NFL. But let's talk about Pat's training camp for 3 minutes and tell me where your head's at with that.
Can I say that this is it's something with the Patriots for me where it's like it feels sneaky. I'm so excited to watch them play. Like I am ready to watch a run of really good football. Last year was nice, kind of building, easy schedule, but I loved our off-season stuff. I loved our draft the last couple of years. I love Mike Vrabel.
Mhm.
I am fucking ready for football. How about you?
Dude, I'm super ready. Right? It sounds like Drake May's put on, what, 20 pounds of muscle, everyone says? And
Yep.
he's been working on his body. Obviously, the A.J. Brown trade happened just the way that everyone thought it would. And we talked about, I think, on the last podcast that we did. But it sounds like he's just thrilled to be here and what he's seen from May. It seems like the Vrabel stuff that was a pretty big story a few months back
Yeah.
is kind of quieted down a little bit. And he probably still has a little bit of answering for it to do in some of his press conferences. I'm sure it'll kind of come back
Yeah.
up. But it seems a little bit like, as things happen to be nowadays, where it's just like enough time goes by and just kind of on to the next thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I'm definitely excited for football. And I think that all starts, what, next week? Is it
I think they're second day right now, training camp.
today? Jesus.
Yeah, second day or
So,
third day actually. What's today?
yeah.
Tuesday, second day.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
the thing with Mike Vrabel, the second she speaks, this is going to come back up, and you know it's going to happen a couple weeks prior to the start of the season. So
yeah, she's going to get paid to do some like interview on
yeah,
60 Minutes or something like that. And it will be
yeah,
interesting to see how it all goes. Hopefully, he doesn't get thrown under the bus just for the sake of being thrown under the bus. I mean, if he did things that deserve that, then obviously that's a different story. But like, hopefully, it's not like a Vrabel hit piece just to kind of defer from herself or whatever. But yeah, dude, I'm excited. There must be a Hall of Fame game coming up this weekend, then probably. So preseason games kick in pretty quick once the preseason starts.
dude, we're not it's almost August. It's
I
weird.
mean, summer's winding down, dude.
I was thinking about it. I'm like a couple of weeks away from having to deal with the boat and all of that stuff. I'm like, I'm not ready for that. Um, right, right.
Close my pool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I don't want to be doing that already. So AJ Brown. So we have AJ on the list. Can I?
Yeah, well, we're combining it all into one here. So say whatever you got to say about AJ, and then we're just moving on from the NFL, saving it for the draft, or not for the
So
draft, but the pod.
Gonzo, they're going to re-sign him. It seems like Brown. I'm sorry, Bob made some comments about Gonzo and largest contract offer. There's some stuff tied. They have some aid. I guess the agent for the player in what is it, Seattle,
Mhm.
and Gonzo have the same one. So I think they're playing a cat and mouse with who gets paid more. But AJ Brown and Gonzo going at each other every day in practice is a really good thing for us.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I think we're so lucky to have Gonzalez. So when you have him and AJ going, it's dude, iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, iron sharpens iron. If you have any reservations about his age, his knee, I just think he has motivation every day in practice to be better because I going up against Gonzo is not an easy thing. So if you
No.
hear some whispers about your knee, if you can create separation or not, because he's not a big separation guy, it's more of a physical thing. I
Mhm.
You're going to get better even as good as he is playing against Gonzo. And Gonzo's going to get better at playing like a muscular, physical player, which
Yeah.
really Gonzo, so far, what we know is he could run around with everybody. If he has to tackle, he does. But now he's playing physical every day in practice. So this is a good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Love it, dude. All right, so we'll save more football talk for the next one, and we're gonna just
Yep.
do a couple quick hitters before we wrap it up. We're a half hour
All
into
right.
this bad boy. Did you watch any World Cup soccer?
15 seconds. How about you?
Really? Only
Yes.
15 seconds. Wow.
Yes.
I freaking watched a ton of it and I loved every second of it. So it's so funny. I don't know why that's the case, but I thought it was freaking fantastic. I'm all in.
Awesome. What'd you love about it?
The games were just all really good. Matches, I guess you would refer to them. They were all like very tense. And there were some that were less tense, but there was a stretch in like the round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals where teams were coming back, teams were scoring in extra time, and it was just like some improbable things were happening and some like really just good play. It looked like for me in terms of like passing and breaking defenses down. I was like, man, this I can see why people enjoy it so much. And I got a chance to know some of the personalities too, just some of the names. Yeah, so I don't know. I thought it was a success for what it was. People seem to freaking love it, man.
Randy's cooking right now. Randy's
Yeah.
doing Randy things.
I'm surprised you only watched 15 seconds, not even the Team USA.
I was just thinking while you were talking, what's been distracting me from that? Disc golf, pickleball, golf, etc. Yep.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
cool. It is what it is. I mean, soccer sometimes comes on hot for a second and you're like, oh, hey, this might be a thing now following this. And I'm sure it'll disappear in a couple of weeks. It probably already has to some degree, but I think one of the sports stories of the summer, what that month and a half was, or 2 months, even if you didn't watch it, it was definitely like a thing that was going on a daily basis and was just kind of around you. And it's kind of cool to have in the US, I thought, at least.
I love it. Maybe I'll get into it next year.
Yeah. So, all right, next thing. I'm moving on. Did you watch the WNBA All-Star Game? 1 minute.
I watched a little bit. How about you?
More of that than soccer? All soccer?
So the answer is yes. So this is going to be like something probably obvious when it comes to me. I don't know what it is. I love female sports for some reason. Like, and I love the Caitlin Clark scenarios. Like, for some reason, whenever you have that sort of environment, I'm really drawn to it. I don't know why. I'm a girl dad. You know what I mean? I like seeing females excel in sports, but besides the ones that I view as very good, I mean, that was just silly. Some of the play was silly, man. What'd you think of the play?
I actually only saw highlights just because I was driving back from a tournament. Speaking of girls' sports, like I got back at like 10:30 last night, but I saw the highlights. I saw how Caitlin Clark did. There's just been a lot of conversation in the news about Caitlin Clark lately, and just it's almost got to the point that it's political, and like people really either hate Caitlin Clark or really, really love her, and it's just a weird thing to see, and it kind of spills over to All-Star Weekend. She does seem like she is a certain way. The more that I see her on TV and stuff, that rubs people the wrong way. So I kind of get it, but. I didn't watch any of the game. It was just a thing. I guess it was their 30th year, so it was kind of a big deal to do this All-Star Game weekend in Chicago. So since it happened, I figured I'd bring it up, but it wasn't like must-see TV for me, and I don't know that it ever will, unless Caitlin Clark's team is in the freaking finals, Game 7 or something like that. I don't know that I really watch much girls basketball. It is what it is.
Man, 30 years. I remember the Cheryl Swoops, Tina Thompson, Kim Perrott, Houston Comets teams. I remember Witherspoon on the New York team. Jesus Christ, it's been 30 years already. Wow.
Yeah, Cheryl Swoops and Rebecca Lobo. Cindy Blodgett got drafted in the first round that one year. I think she was like 7th or 8th, which was a big deal. She'd never really had much of a career there, but one of Maine's own. So it was kind of cool to see her in the league for like a second. But I don't know. It's not that much of a thing for me.
Before we wrap up.
Yeah.
It's sort of your thing to do the segue of wrapping up. Sorry about that.
I like it. Let's go. Where are we going?
Scenario.
Where are we going before we wrap it up?
Two out of 3 this past Tuesday against Saco. Randy, can we talk about why we won 2 out of 3 against Saco this week?
I think it just really comes down to us being first and foremost probably better athletes at this point in our lives, and then second is just we're more strategic thinkers when it comes to how we play pickleball and approach things. So I mean, yeah, freaking 2 out of 3, we dominated.
So another quick question about it did you notice that when Brian talked some shit in our text string, I said absolutely nothing? I mean, the fire that he lit under in my belly when he said he was going to destroy us. I'm like, all right, Bri, you ready?
That felt good.
Yeah.
And he always handles the losses really well, so that's also nice.
You got to give him credit, man. He's not vicious when he's talking shit. Brian, you got to give Brian credit for keeping his head together. He did take his loss.
We will be hopefully repeating the beatdown tomorrow.
We'll see what happens. Yeah, so that's what I got, and I think maybe on this podcast, I'd like to say to everybody, I've been playing golf forever, and I finally broke 80 recently, and a lot of people have broken 80, so maybe this is like whatever beds, but I've been chasing it for a while, so that happened.
You have been.
Yep.
We've been talking about it for feels like years at this point, so congratulations on that, brother.
Thank you, dude. You'll get there when you have time for golf.
I don't know that I'm physically able to break 80, but we'll see. Yeah. I'll give it a shot.
We'll see.
Maybe once the kids get out of high school and I actually start playing more than like 5 times a year, because it has not been a summer of golf, that is for sure. Probably my least amount of golf played in the past like 5 or 6 years, but it's life. Yeah, is what it is.
I think what's doing it for me is getting into groups of really good golfers. And when you're playing with really good golfers, it's like you just want to lock in and play better.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of truth in that. So, all right, brother. Well, hey, good combo. We'll do this again.